Hi, I'm Jessie and I run my Polymer Clay small business Kins Clay. Last weekend I had my most successful crystal drag and drop / day ever. You can watch that happen in my last vlog if you want to, which resulted in 13 orders and 22 dragons waiting to be sent to their new homes. So join me in packing them all up as I answer some of your questions. Hi everyone and welcome back to the Kins Clay channel. So if you watched my last video, you'll have seen that I had my most successful day ever and I sold more than I ever have in one day before from my massive crystal drag and drop that I did. And now it's a couple of days after and we've got to get them packed up and sent off to the new homes, and there is a lot here. All the ones that we're packing are literally in one of my drawers that I usually keep my clay in because I didn't have a box big enough, so this is everything we're packing. There are only, I think, 6 dragons left now from the drop, which is crazy because I made 28, so I can't believe that all of these went pretty much in one day, well, less than one day. And I'm so excited to send them off to the new homes, so I thought we could pack these together. And also, a couple of weeks ago, I asked you guys on my Instagram and also on YouTube if you had any questions for me to do like a Q&A. And there actually were a few questions, and I didn't really expect anybody to have any questions, so I thought I'd answer those questions while we're packing orders. Also, I am running kind of low on all my different box sizes and I really should have ordered some more, so we're gonna have to be a little bit strategic about which orders go in which boxes because I have a limited amount, but I think we can make it work, so let's get started. There's so many dragons in here. Also, one of these orders has so many dragons in it, but I'm going to leave the bigger ones to last and do the smaller ones first. So this is the first order that we're packing, and luckily this one is flat enough that it's going to be able to fit nice and snug in one of these smaller boxes, and that should keep him really secure and safe in there anyway, so we'll get him in this little box. Hopefully this angle is okay. Obviously I'm getting the little horn protectors on, which are just packing peanuts. And while I'm packing this guy up for Kirsten, we'll read out the first question. So the first one that was submitted, are the dragons a design of yours? How did you overcome the fear of filming yourself, and any goals for 2025? So we've got 3 questions here to start us off. Firstly, are the dragons a design of mine? They kind of are. So years ago when I first started with Polymer Clay, this was the first ever dragon that I made, which I think it is pretty similar to the ones that I make now. And the whole reason I first ever got into Polymer Clay back in the very end of 2020 was because I saw a video by Realms of Avalon. I'll put her tag in. And she does a lot of dragons, like she does Polymer Clay dragons, but they're a completely different style to mine. And sometimes she puts crystals in them and stuff. But when I first started, if anybody's been here since the beginning, you'll know that I didn't really do dragons in the beginning. The dragons are actually a pretty new thing. They've just been so successful for me. And I just thought one day, like a year ago, that I'd like to try and make dragons and make them better than like the first one that I did. So I had to go again, and then once I figured out I really liked making dragons, I decided to start adding the crystals. And I wasn't even going to do them for the shop. It was a gift idea that I had for my boyfriend, because at that point I had just started collecting crystals just for something to collect when I was going to craft markets and stuff, because I thought they were really pretty. And I remembered that I'd seen people like Realms of Avalon put crystals on some of their dragons a few times, so I thought you must just be able to do that. So I tried it and it worked, and then obviously I started posting them and people started loving them. But I'll put up some pictures of Realms of Avalon stuff, who in the beginning did inspire me, and we have got completely different styles. Oops. So I think that the way that I do my dragons, yeah, is my design, but the original inspiration for why I started making my kind of dragons was because years and years ago I really liked watching Realms of Avalon's videos. This box has ended up being a perfect size for these. So I'll put our little thank you card in and a little cow sticker. And that's our first order done. Now we're moving on to packing the biggest dragon, this fluorite tower one. And as you can see, it's absolutely huge, so this is going to have to go in the biggest box that I've got. Let's hope that this is big enough. Let's see. Yeah, it's just big enough. He'll fit nice and snug in there, so let's get his horn protectors on. The next question that they had is, how did you overcome the fear of filming yourself? I know that it's the response that everybody hates to hear, but I kind of just did it. There wasn't really like anything that I did specifically, apart from I did film a video and then I absolutely hated it. Like, I was just talking too much because I was nervous, so I ended up deleting my first video and never actually posted it. So I guess it's just kind of practice, because after that I kind of got the hang of how I wanted to talk. Like, I knew that I needed to talk slower and not just nervously ramble on about things and stuff like that. And I just got comfortable to a point that that felt natural anyway, just like I'm talking to a person. In public, that's a completely different story, and I'm still not over the fear of doing that, really. The time that me and my sister went to that crystal convention, I filmed myself, and that was kind of scary, but also not too bad because I had my sister with me. So I think that kind of helps if you're not on your own and you're in public and you have to film yourself like that. But yeah, in public, hopefully I'll get more confident at that, because I'd like to film in public more. And also, I'm in the UK. I don't know if you just see more vloggers in America, but I feel like that would be a normal thing to see over there. Whereas here, especially where I live anyway, I think if people saw me just walking down the street filming, people would be so weirded out by that, and people would end up saying stuff or like getting in the video or whatever. Maybe that's just where I live, I don't know. I'm gonna need a lot of bubble wrap for this. But also, I found that filming myself like this kind of got more natural when I started to gain more followers too, because in the beginning it's gonna feel like you're not talking to anyone, you're just talking to a camera. But when you post the first video and you realise that there are like some people that are going to watch your stuff and that are interested, you're then talking to those people. Like, it's not live obviously, but I know that I'm filming this for you guys and you guys are going to watch it and you're going to respond. So that really helped too, because it doesn't just feel like I'm filming myself and that's it, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but... And yeah, like I said, I think just the more that you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. This is very hard to bubble wrap. I think I've got the base bubble wrap done. I'm just gonna do it loads more times to make sure that it's super secure, because this is going to America. And then the last question from this person was, any plans for 2025? And honestly, I haven't really planned anything big. Like I've said a few times, I'm not doing anywhere near as many craft fairs as I did last year, because there aren't many great craft fairs around where I am. And with how successful my online store has been, I'd rather focus on that and be able to focus on making videos and content and selling online rather than at craft fairs. So I guess that's not really planned. It's kind of the opposite, that I'm not doing craft fairs as much, but that means that this year I get to focus on YouTube more and I get to focus on my online store more. So I guess that's something. I really want to grow my channel. I really want to get more sponsors and stuff. It's a really good job I have another full roll of bubble wrap downstairs, because this is still needing more. I do have a few other shop related things that are coming up that I'm super excited about, but I'm not gonna tell you about those yet, but you'll be finding out about those soon. Like, there's so many ideas that I have for the shop, but they're not plans yet. So I do want to do a lot of things, but it's just when those things will actually happen. I don't know. I'm not the type of person to make like a full plan. I kind of just go with it, you know what I mean? But in my personal life, I think I have mentioned this before, but me and my boyfriend want to move to the US, which is really exciting and scary, but it's more exciting than scary, and we want to get further with getting stuff in motion to be able to get there. Obviously we won't be moving there this year, but there's still stuff that we have to do. But yeah, no massive plans for this year. Let me know if you guys have any plans. This is how it's looking now. We definitely need a lot of packing peanuts in here. It's a good job I have a full box and another full bag full of packing peanuts as well, because I think we're going to use a lot of these today. Okay, that's what it's looking like now, and this one I still need to write one of these for. This one is for James. I'll put that in there, and then also grab a sticker. We'll put this little dragon sticker in because it's so cute, and let's get this taped up. The next order is for Derek, and he's got this gorgeous Jasper Heart one, which was one of my favourites. And it's gonna have to go in this pretty big box because it's just too big for the medium-sized ones, so it's gotta go in this one. And the next person on the Q&A said, "Hi, your channel inspires me so much. How do you cure your resin so that it's not sticky?" Well, I actually don't use resin. I wanted to try it for things like my key rings and other things, but I've always just used Fimo gloss. I'll put in a picture of the one that I use. You can just get it on Amazon. But yeah, it's just the Fimo glaze, and I get the glossy one. I think you can get a matte version, but I prefer my stuff to just look a little bit shiny, so that's what I use rather than resin. And it's a lot easier and less hassle to use than resin is. Okay, let's get him in. And obviously then we need even more packing peanuts. And let's put in this little purple dragon sticker. And that's another one all done. The next one is this Mexican agate guy. He's super pretty. I love all the like copper and gold leaf that's in this one. Listen to the sound this makes. It's so satisfying. I don't know why. It's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna do this one in this little box. So let's wrap him up. Okay, now he's all safe. I'm gonna use this pink shredded paper instead of packing peanuts for this one, just because the packing peanuts are too big for this box. Oh, I'm gonna give them this little cow. I love the cow stickers, they're one of my favorites. Can't forget the thank you card. Let's get these in. And then that's another one done. There we go. This next one is another one of my favourites from this drop, and it is this Appetite Dragon. It's got loads of like gold running through it, and it's kind of greeny. So pretty. And I'm going to put this one in the same size box as the last one. And while I'm doing that, let's read the next question. So the next person asked, favourite dragon you've ever made? That is a really hard question. I really love one that I won't have shown you before that I made for my boyfriend. So I'll get a picture of that one and show you that. That's one of my favourites, but it's not a crystal dragon, technically. It's one of the really big ones, but instead of a crystal, it's holding an egg from one of our favourite shows, Berserk. So I kind of like sculpted the egg pendant that's in the show, and then it's holding that instead of a crystal egg. And I really like how the egg came out and like the little details on the dragon that are of Berserk, the show. So that's one of my favourites. In terms of ones that I've sold on the shop, that's so hard, but like recent ones, I'd say probably the gingerbread one, the big gingerbread one, and the rose quartz flower sphere one. Of all time, I don't know if I can pick a favourite. I've done too many at this point. But the other idea that I'm actually making this week for Valentine's Day, if I can make this how it looks in my head, will probably end up being my favourite crystal dragons ever. So stay tuned for that. But let me know what your guys' favourite dragon I've ever done is as well, because I love hearing your opinions and like what your favourites are from each drop. So if you've got like an all-time favourite crystal dragon, let me know. I'm going to give her this adorable little hamster sticker, and that's another one done. We're getting through these single ones quite fast. Don't know how long it's going to take me to pack the bigger ones though, because I don't know if you can see, but this is still very full. Next up is this little Labradorite heart guy, and I'm going to do him in a small box. The next question we've got is, I see that you use Fimo. Is that your favourite clay, and have you tried any other brands? I do use Fimo, yeah, and I actually haven't ever tried any other clay, just because Fimo works for me and I'm really used to it, so I don't think I would ever switch. I know that a lot of small businesses use either Fimo or Sculpey, I think the other one's called, and that's what I use for liquid clay, but for my actual clay, I've only ever used Fimo. Like I said, just because I haven't really had any problems with it, so I'd rather just stick with what I know, if that makes sense. I would like to try doing air dry clay at some point maybe though, but I think I'd just do that for myself and not like for the shop. How cute is this little mouse sticker? And that was actually the last of the orders that only had one dragon in. So now we're moving on to the bigger ones. And this next one is for Janine. We're gonna have to use a big box again for this one. So she's ordered this blue geode one, the little baby dragons inside the geode. This one's really cool. And then she ordered the amethyst trinket dish. And this is the first time I've done a crystal dragon dish on the shop, but I'm glad that people liked it. I think I'm definitely going to do these more, like with other crystals, because I think it's really cute and a fun way to keep your jewellery safe and stuff. Definitely need some packing peanuts. Whoops. Okay, let's bubble wrap these while I get the next question up. So the next question is, how long have you been making dragons and where did you get the idea? So like I said, a dragon was actually the first thing, well, the second thing technically that I ever made. And that was December 2022, I think. So what's that, like, so that's 4 years ago. But then I made a couple of them and never really did anything else with dragons until a few months later I made my dragon trinket dish, which did really well. And like I said earlier, I'd seen different people making different kinds of dragons and stuff, so I just liked making my own kind of dragons, if that makes sense. But that was pretty much all I did with dragons until February of 2024, so that's not even that long ago, that's less than a year ago, which was the first time I ever made a crystal dragon. And I came up with the idea for crystal dragons as well because it was Valentine's Day and I bought a crystal from a market that was like a really cool shape and I wanted to make something for my boyfriend. And I thought, what if I could sculpt a dragon on top of this crystal? Because I've seen people doing like crystals and dragons together and putting them in the oven, so you must be able to do it. So that's what I did. I made a little black dragon on top of this piece of labradorite that I had and I gave it to my boyfriend for Valentine's Day. And then I decided that I really liked making them and I should try them on the shop. So that's kind of where it came from. The crystal dragons were kind of just a mix of different things. Like, I knew I'd seen somebody do that once or twice before I started making anything, and that was something that inspired me to start making my stuff. And I also wanted to make something for my boyfriend and I was really liking collecting crystals at that point. And I wanted to try something else and I'd already been making a lot of the dragon dishes. So I already had my own style of dragon because I'd already got the dragon dishes going. So I just thought I would put it all kind of together and start doing crystal dragons, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of like all over the place, but that's kind of where they came from. I have just run out of bubble wrap and these still need a little bit more, so I'm gonna run downstairs and grab my massive new roll of bubble wrap and also get some food and have a little bit of a break, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back and I've got the bubble wrap, but there's a slight problem. It's huge. It won't fit in the slot that it usually fits on my shelves. There's a perfect section where I slot the bubble wrap in and it's like I can just pull it out when I need it. But I ordered a bigger roll thinking it would be like fatter, but it's not, it's longer. So I don't know where I'm gonna keep this now, which is a little bit annoying. But let's carry on wrapping these up. It's just gonna have to live on the floor. This was definitely a bad idea. I should have just got the usual size that I get. Okay, let's get this wrapped up. In the box. And obviously we need even more packing peanuts. I'm gonna have to get some more out of the bag. I swear I've just restocked on packing peanuts and I probably only have like this and another box full, so I'm gonna have to order some more of those too as well soon. Let's put the little thank you card in and I'm gonna give it this cute little ghost flower sticker. And that's another order down. Next up, we've got an order for 3 dragons. So first off is this smoky quartz cluster one. Then we've got this amethyst one, which I made in a live with you guys. I've been going live on YouTube a lot recently, so make sure you keep an eye out for when we're making these together. And then she also got this one, which was one of my favorites as well. It's a flower agate heart and it also comes with a little stand for it to sit on. So I think we're definitely going to need another big box for these, and a lot of packing peanuts and a lot of bubble wrap. I need a bigger desk, I swear there's not enough room. I just need an entire separate room that's not my bedroom dedicated to packing orders because it takes up so much stuff. But anyway, let's get these wrapped up. A lot of these questions were similar. The next one says, when did you start making dragons? One of the first ever things I made when I first got interested in polymer clay was a dragon, but I kind of just did those for myself and then didn't do them again for ages until February of 2024. So less than a year ago, I've started making the crystal dragons and stuff, which is insane to think about. I can't explain how much my shop has grown since I focused on crystal dragons and since I made them, because people seem to really, really love them. And I know that it's what a lot of people find my shop because of. And it's probably gonna be the main thing that I make forever now, which I'm really happy about because I absolutely love them. But yeah, to think that the first crystal dragon I made not even a year ago is insane. Can't forget a cute little sticker, and then that's this one done. This next one is for Heather, and she got this purple fluorite towel one, this dream amethyst towel one, another one of my favourites from the drop, and a Lucky Dip octopus bag. And I'm thinking I'm going to be able to get these in this box, hopefully. Let's see. We've got two more questions, and this one says, what got you interested in sculpting? And I've touched on it, but back in 2020, I kept seeing videos on TikTok, mainly of people making different dragons and earrings and stuff like that. And that just made me really, really want to start polymer clay. And I think at the time I was just about to go to college, and I think I just wanted like a new hobby to do, and I just kept seeing videos about it constantly, and I just bought all of the stuff and thought I'm gonna give this a go because I always try new hobbies, but this was like one of the things that really, really stuck. So yeah, it's boring, but it basically was just TikTok videos. And I've always been obsessed with making stuff. Like since I was little, I've always been crafting. And this was just the thing that I found and knew that like I was gonna stick with this, and this was like what I want to do. But yeah, it is weird that in the beginning, the first ever thing that I was interested in making was dragons, and then I didn't really do it again for years, and now dragons is the thing that's like brought me success and really helped me and my shop to grow. So I think it's cute that it's come like full circle. This one's kind of a weird shape to wrap up, so I'm gonna have to do my best with this. We managed. Okay, I think I'm gonna put one more layer on. Okay, now let's get them all in the box. They fit so perfectly in there, nice and snug. Can't forget the little octopus bag. And then let's top it up with some pink shredded paper. I'm gonna give her this adorable little like sushi dog sticker. We are onto the last two big orders, and this one is probably my most expensive order ever. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna guess that it is. So she got the fluorite heart one that comes on this little stand. Super pretty. Then she got this lapis lazuli or lazuli, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. Then she got this flower agate one, which actually glows in the dark. I might be able to show you a tiny bit, but I doubt it. It's not really dark in here. If I turn it off, you might be able to see it slightly. Can you see how it slightly glows green? But if it's like in the dark, it's super bright green. She also got this one with the flowers. It's a little clear quartz one. And this blue smelting stone, like icy coloured one, which was one of my favourites. And she also got one of our crystal dragon badges, which is so fun. While I'm wrapping these guys up, we're gonna do the next question, which is a really good one. It's, how do you stay motivated? And honestly, I feel like there's a lot of different reasons, and mainly I'm just lucky enough to absolutely love my job. And it doesn't feel like work to me, it's just fun. So that's probably the main factor. But obviously there are times when I'm like feeling stressed out about it, or I feel like I've got so much to do and I get stressed and stuff like that, obviously, with any job. But another motivator that I have is you guys. I have so much support from my family, and I know you guys love seeing these, and I love reading your comments, and I know that you're all behind me too. And I like making content for you. I like doing things and being able to show you what we've sold and what I've made, because I know that you're invested in this business too. Another one is that this is my job. Sometimes people think that I have another job and this is just like a side thing that I do, but I don't. This is my job. So if I don't make money and I don't make things and I just like can't be bothered to do anything, then I wouldn't make any money. I'd have no money. So that's another motivator, and I chose that I just wanted to focus on this as my job and make it work. And obviously that was scary at first, but it really paid off with how much the shop has grown since then. Also, I think back to 18-year-old me trying polymer clay for the first time, and I kind of owe it to her too, to keep going and to keep trying new things and to keep growing this shop, because she would have never believed that I would have ended up getting this many orders in a day. And I know that this kind of success has come from me working so hard for, 4 years at Polymer Clay and really growing this business into what it is. And obviously I just want to keep going and going and going. So it's very rare that I feel like burnt out or fed up. But yeah, I'd say that they're like my main motivators. Just as I'm doing this, we've had a review left from the lady that's bought these, so I'm gonna read that. So she must have just got her last order delivered. It takes a while for them to get there because they're in America and obviously I'm in the UK, but she said absolutely gorgeous. I love them so much. And we've just had another review from somebody else that we've just packed an order from, and it says, I love the items included, especially the itty bitty dragon, because she ordered a £20 mystery box and they can include dragons, so she got a tiny little crystal dragon in it. So I love reading your guys' reviews. But let's get all of these dragons wrapped and in this box. I'm gonna put the acrylic stand for the heart in a little bag with the crystal dragon pin for them. I'll also put some stickers in here for her as well, like this cute little tiger and a little cow. More packing peanuts. And a thank you card. This is gonna be a very heavy parcel. And now we're actually on to the last order and the last question. So Emma got this tiny little amethyst one, and this silvery grey agate one, and this raw quartz one, which was actually from the drop before the last one, and I'm glad that he's found a home because I loved him. And the dragon bloodstone one, which is a super cute like coppery colour. And she also got one of our whale sharks, and she's getting this pink and gold one, which is a really, really pretty colour combination, I think. This all probably would have fit in one of the square boxes, but I don't have any left, so we're just gonna have to do it in a slightly bigger one, which means that I can bubble wrap them even more though, so it's all good. So the last question is, how do you handle any criticism now that you're a public figure? And this one kind of like caught me off guard, I guess. And I kind of have like no idea how to answer that because I really don't think that I qualify as being a public figure. My channel has grown so much though recently, and it makes me so happy that we've got like a little community now. And like I said, I want to keep on growing it as big as I can through this year. But to hear the words like public figure is crazy. And the fact that somebody thinks of me as that blows my mind. That does make me so happy. But yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like my channel has grown so much, but it still is like a micro channel. And starting the channel was one of the best things, if not the best thing I've ever done for my business. And I've reached so many new people by doing it. And I love that there are people that watch these videos. It makes me so happy, and even that just blows my mind that anybody wants to keep up to date with what's going on in my life. But by no means am I like well known. I am really focusing on YouTube though, because I would love for that to happen, to have a bigger channel. And I love the community that we've got on here, and I love putting stuff out there for you guys. But because I'm such a small channel at the minute, I don't think I've had any like criticism as such, but I know that I'm bound to have that at some point. It happens to everybody, especially on social media. So I guess it's just something that comes with it, but I can't think of any that I've had. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers that. And that is the last order packed and the last question answered. Look at all of these. Thank you so much if any of these orders are yours. I can't believe how well the drop went, and I'll definitely be doing another one soon. There are still, I think, 6 dragons left from the last collection that we did, so if you want in any, there are still a few on there. I'm so grateful that I made 28 dragons and most of them sold. That blew my mind, and it blew my mind that anybody even wanted to ask me questions for a Q&A, so I'd love to do a part 2. So if any of you guys have any questions that I didn't answer or anything else that you can think of, if you want to write them in the comments of this video, I'll do a part 2 at some point, either while I'm making dragons or while I'm packing orders again or something like that. I'm just so grateful that we have this little community and that people actually want to buy my art. It makes me happier than I can explain. It's actually starting to turn dark outside now because this took me so long. There's been that many dragons to pack. So I'm going to get all the shipping labels and stuff printed off and get these all ready to go to the post office first thing tomorrow morning, because the post office will be shut now, so I'm going to have to do that in the morning. But I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you so much for watching, and like I said, please leave me any questions in the comments so that we can do a part 2 to this video if you enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!